Frictional Games. As you can see, it says continue. I've already played this game. I think I've already completed it. So there's these auto saves, but I'm going to start a new game, and yeah, let's see how we get on. Just check my options. Titles on. Show effects. We're actually going to turn commentary off, as we're not going to need that. Just check the gamma. I don't know how YouTube is going to render this. We'll do that. If it gets bad, I can just change it. Right, interact, leave. Right then. And then it's directional pad to rotate, cool. Right then, let's get to it. We'll do that one. Not ready for yeah.
Don't forget, some things mustn't be forgotten. The shadow hunting me. I must hurry. My name is Daniel. I live in London at Mayfair. What have I done? This is crazy. Don't forget. Don't forget. I must stop him. Focus. My name is... I am Daniel. 19th of August, 1839. I wish I could ask how much you remember. I don't know if there will be anything left after I consume this drink. Don't be afraid, Daniel. I can't tell you why, but know this. I choose to forget. Try to find comfort and strength in that fact. There is a purpose. You are my final effort to put things right. God willing, the name Alexander of Brandenburg still invokes bitter anger in you. If not, this will sound horrible. Go to the inner sanctum, find Alexander, and kill him. His body is old and weak, and yours, young and strong. He will be no match for you. One last thing. A shadow is following you. It's a living nightmare, breaking down reality. I have tried everything, and there is no way to fight back. You need to escape it as long as you can. Redeem us both, Daniel. Descend into the darkness where Alexander waits and murder him. Your former self, Daniel.
Right then, I'm no way like a speedrunner or anything. I just know certain areas that have like tinderboxes and stuff. So you may see me just kind of crack on with some areas. For instance, the game's going to make me want to look at the stairs in a second.
Alexander, is it inside the castle?
In a manner of speaking. Come, bring the lamp. You've been to the refinery, have you not?
I don't believe I have. Is it connected to the... what did you call it?
The inner sanctum. My most precious chamber, Daniel. And it lies well beyond the refinery. In fact, it lies beneath the very stone of Brennenburg.
Shortcut scene here. Jump scare. I'm just going to ignore that. And head to the archives. There might be a tinderbox here. Yes, there is. Anyway, I'll be right back. Okay, first note.
16th of May, 1839. The unflinching African sun has continued to plague our expedition, making it impossible to dig until dusk. How Professor Herbert managed to find the location in these vast plains of nothingness remains a mystery to me. When I asked him about the tomb again, he told me about the legend of Tin Hanan, the mother of us all. An interesting story in its own right, but I can't help feeling there's more. Later that evening, we uncovered a passage beneath the dunes leading to a sand-covered stone structure. The professor was confident it was the tomb we sought, and ordered the others to clear the way late into the dark, cold night. Tomorrow, I shall lead the men into the ancient structure, hoping to reach the burial chamber. No matter what the Professor is keeping from me, the dig should yield something interesting to take back to London and the British Museum.
Okay, there's a monster encounter around here, but it's more of like a hallucination than it is. Oh man, this version of the game is actually really buggy. The audio isn't sitting right. Okay, why is the audio doing that? Anyone else hear that? Okay. That is weird.
17th of May, 1839. My hands tremble as I write. I feel a need to document my tribulation, for I fear that my memory will fail me if I linger. Today, I took some men and ventured into the dark, ancient passage we uncovered. Our torches burned faintly in the murky air as we slowly made our way underground. The men were superstitious and fearful. They argued loudly, and I felt their strange language getting to me. I mustered my strength and yelled at them to continue down the slopes and broken steps. The crudely carved passage confused me. It looked much older than the 4th century structure we had expected. The twisting path emerged into a great antechamber. The walls were lined with statues unlike any I'd ever seen. Despite their unearthly quality, I felt a strange familiarity toward them, which haunts me still. At the far end of the chamber, a great slab of stone sealed off whatever lay ahead. I gave the order to raise it, and as I pushed through the narrow space, the heavy stone suddenly dropped, sealing me inside. I was trapped.
Okay, there's definitely a problem with the audio. It appears like it's only coming through like one speaker at times. Right then, we're going to continue on. Pounding the unforgiving stone wall for what seemed like an eternity, I realized it was hopeless. I was trapped. I fell to the ground, gasping for air, trying to focus. That's when I saw a faint blue shimmer.
My weakened body was heavy to carry, but I managed to push myself toward the enchanting light. It was waiting for me. Enclosed in dark nothingness, I felt myself drawn to the mystic light. I reached out, closing it in my hands. The faint glow escaped my fingers and began to spark brightly and spirit me away, unlocking alien memories of spiraling towers, endless deserts, and impossible geometry. The next thing I can remember is the grating sound of stone being lifted, the voices of the Arabs pulling me to safety, and grasped firmly in my hands was the broken pieces of a most peculiar relic.
You have to be swift when you activate the first one. You hear that? If it stops, you'll have to start over.
Isn't all this a bit excessive?
You can never be too careful, Daniel.
Yeah, sadly the audio's a bit messed up. I don't really know what else to do in regards to that. So, a bit of backstory. They're the main monsters in the game. That's Alexander. Actually don't need to go to the lab yet, as we need to pick up the potions. So pick up the potions, go to the lab. It will also be able to bring our sanity down as well, instead of making it go up and down via progress.
Where did the Baron go? Who cares? He left us enough wine to last us a lifetime. Or at least until tomorrow.
I have to get out of here.
Let's pick up some things. Some tinder boxes. Right.
like my chest is going to burst.
My God! Wilhelm, do something!
Except we're not getting out of here alive.
How can you say that? Alexander, you piece of shit! Let us out of here!
So all that talks about is the note that we found earlier in the archives about Wilhelm dedicating his job towards his duties towards Alexander, and this is his last testament. We've got another monster encounter coming up here. But I'm not going to activate it yet. Okay. A few tinderboxes in this area. Let's see, pick up. Vial. Got plenty of it. Got some laudanum. Pick that up. Key monster. We just got lone walls around the corner. Monster encounters is you don't actually fully encounter them until the second level, so yeah, you're just basically left with hallucinations. That route would be Gabra, I'd guess. The Gabras are Alexander's servants. You'll encounter them throughout the course of this game. That's a shadow. Being annoying. Stupid shadow. Daniel's like grinding his teeth to oblivion. Right, I'm just gonna light up this area actually. There's some tinderboxes around here. And some oil. And some items that we'll need.
So there should be more coop rats. Let me see. And one part Aquaforce.
Quite possibly it's Wilhelm. It might be some of his soldiers serving under him. actually not looking down there because it will trigger an event which will bring down the sanity. I want to keep the sanity relatively high, or low I mean. So we're gonna do this now. How you can tell they can get pretty lazy with animation. Ah dear. That's still a thing. I thought they would have patched that by now. Right, so we got the acid to burn through the piece of shadow that's blocking our way. We can now advance to level 2. At least I think it's level 2.
Dark in here.
Yes, and there's a good reason for it. But you can light the lamp now if you wish.
What's the reason? For the darkness, that is.
Stay close. Be careful not to stray.
What's the reason? Why is it so dark?
Pay attention, Daniel. It's important that you keep going straight and make sure not to stray.
First monster encounter that if you run up on it can actually kill you. I'm just going to wait here for a moment. When the music stops we'll be safe. Okay, we can now move on.
June 1839. It's been more than a month since my last entry. After the event inside the underground chamber in Algeria, Professor Herbert insisted I return to England. He said he didn't want to risk forfeiting the entire expedition lest I took a turn for the worse. An excessive decision, in retrospect. But I'm glad it turned out that way. I found my journal this morning in the haphazard collection of things brought home from Africa. Next to it lay the broken stone orb wrapped in cloth. I tried to assemble it, but couldn't. The pieces wouldn't fit together, as if they weren't from the same object. Could I have imagined it all? Was there ever a complete orb?
I think it's worth noting as well, if you're struggling with the game, in the sense that you're struggling with, say, running out of oil and staying in darkness, if you trigger a cutscene, you actually don't need the lantern on as like a cutscene, like a flashback, so you can effectively just move about without having to worry about losing the sanity, which is pretty nifty.
Smith eased my mind a bit, but I can't escape the feeling that these shards have otherworldly properties.
And sorry for skipping that, but that was just by accident. I was reading too fast. Okay, it's really hazy now. Every time I see this much haze on my screen, I think of Dino Crisis 2 with that T-Rex. Might take a tumble here. We can reach that. There we go. Wicked. Okay, there's a couple of tinder boxes in here to go. Final bit is the chase sequence. Now, there's no wrong path to go, and to prove it, I'll go a wrong way. It's best to show some oil, tin boxes. Sweet. Now there's a certain number of monster encounters here, and it just helps to do it this particular way, just so there's less encounters. I find this is the best course of action to do it as well, because you can just get through it faster. Just outside here. And he's just going to patrol, go and do the chores. The AI is actually pretty clever in this, so what it will do is it will get really close to the player, but it'll get so close that it won't notice the player. Well, it knows the player is there, but it won't detect the player or tell the monster to detect. We can progress. So I'm actually just going to light up this area because I don't really want to use my lantern as much. Should be a tinderbox here. Sweet. We'll go down here. There shouldn't be any monsters. I don't know what it's like for anybody else, but the audio keeps cutting in and out for me. If it's the same, leave a comment. Okay, the last piece is here.
Let me go. I won't tell anyone, I swear. I just want to go home. No! Get away from me! Leave me alone!
Right then, we'll want to put this here. Throw something at it, like, there's all these pieces up here. With this monster where it will just, with this gatherer, where it will just like hang out in the bottom of here and not move. And what really bothers me is the fact that it, like, you can easily spend roughly about 10 minutes in this area just because the AI won't move. So what I tend to do is stick a couple of barrels. Or two for good measure. The reason why I do this is because the AI will get stuck on the items and it won't climb over it. It's something that hasn't been patched by Frictional Games, so if you are struggling with this bit and just kind of want to speed through it, this is how you go about it. This is taking a while. It's just the method that kind of works for me. Everyone else I've seen on this part just like runs away, but every time that I've tried to run away, I ended up getting my ass handed to me. actually where you could hold a barrel up and the gatherer will just like ignore you and just see this floating barrel. Don't know if it's true or not, I haven't tried it. Okay, this is the part where we have a next chase sequence, so let's see if all my do this, do that pays off. So if you do it exactly like that, you'll be fine. I built a wall once out of barrels and boxes, and that's where that second monster is. You just do it like that, you can actually trap him and just lob objects at him.
Don't forget your bag, Daniel.
I won't, Herbert.
There is no shame in using a parasol in the desert. As it happens, it's imperative to your survival.
But it looks ridiculous.
The shade will hurt much less than dying, I assure you.
Journal is gone. What would they want with my journal? This shouldn't be. 2nd of July, 1839. I received a letter today from the Algerian governor's office disclosing the fate of Herbert's expedition. About a week after my departure, Abdullah, one of the men traveling with us, returned from the desert. He was badly injured, as if maimed by a lion. The man rambled deliriously about the expedition being attacked by something horrible. The French quickly dispatched a search party to look for the expedition. After searching for days, they found the camp abandoned without any trace of Herbert or his men. Tomorrow, I'll retrieve the things they recovered from Herbert's tent at the customs house. I don't know what to make of it, but I'm worried for him.
Okay, just a few no entries in this area.
Daniel? What? Still having nightmares, I see.
Yes, I can't shake them. They come every night.
We'll put a stop to them. You'll see.
3rd of July, 1839. Today I picked up Herbert's things at the customs house. I dug through the trove of documents he had carried and found a log detailing the expedition. The nature of this text ranged from quick notes to colourful accounts of transpired events. I skimmed the pages, trying to figure out what might have happened. May 17th, the day I was trapped inside the orb chamber, Herbert dryly states, "Recovered Daniel after 1 hour of entrapment." This confused me greatly. I was suffocating within minutes. How could I have lasted an hour? I continued reading the peculiar text. Herbert states his facts without judgment or passion, but suddenly I could read frustration into his text. He pushed his men to investigate the underground tomb, an effort which seems to have strained the minds of his men. Madness spread through the ranks, and Herbert had to take some extreme measures to continue. He finally visits the chamber himself, where he retrieves the orb to the surface. His account confuses me greatly. If he has the orb, what are those pieces in my drawing room?
The plot thickens. Anyway, I don't think there's anything else in here, except maybe some oil and a tinderbox.
I guess it is a good place to hide it then. 4th of July, 1839. It's done! The orb is assembled. I was awakened by an exhausting nightmare. Shaking and sweating, I retired to the drawing room with a cup of tea. The relic pieces lay spread across the table as I'd left them, but somehow I knew how it was supposed to be. I fetched the tar, which I had prepared to fix the pieces together, and without fault I joined them, producing the orb I remembered so clearly. The tar proved unnecessary. It was pushed out from the joining pieces as they merged on their own, with no adhesive. The ancient stone relic now rests on my table. Its immaculate surface and perfect shape could have been molded by a factory. This is all too strange.
So once you get this note, you can actually leave. You don't really need to explore this room any further because there's nothing in it. Oh, so if you go beyond the door, a monster will spawn here and you will have to hide in the wardrobe. That just adds about 2 or 3 more minutes to the game that you possibly don't really need to add if you're just trying to get through it. Also, part of a body will appear down there. Got it. So we're actually heading up here to get one of the fuel rods, but I think there's a few notes as well. Check over here. So much noise. If you need to read it, just pause it and Yeah, freed off from there. Once they know the story and everything that's going on, that's the wrong way. Okay, we're not actually going to go into the other room because it will trigger salmon, like we will, however, be jumping on these to get across to here. Sorted. There is another crate here, probably with a tin box in it, or two. Close up, and then we head back.
Inner sanctum?
It will definitely take care of the vertical part of our journey. So, you have ridden an elevator before?
Yes, the Colosseum at Regent's Park has one. It takes you to the gallery where you can view the panorama.
Good. This ride might be a little longer, and in the other direction.
Just going to light up most of these light sources.
5th of July, 1839. Today I went to the university looking for answers. I was able to sneak into Herbert's office and pick up an address book along with some relevant textbooks. Professor Taylor at the Faculty of History was very helpful, and I managed to approach the subject of the orbs. The most interesting aspect was the prevalent trace they had left in our culture. The mythic orbs may, in fact, have inspired the globus cruciger, which so many royal regalia holds to this day. In ancient times, the orbs were held by priests as a symbol of the sun and its power. As I was leaving, I overheard a disturbing conversation. Sir William Smith, the geologist, was killed last night. Less than a fortnight had passed since I'd asked for his expertise. I know it's silly, but I can't help feeling responsible somehow.
Okay, relatively simple puzzle. We just need 8 to appear at the bottom and 8 to be at the top. Because they're in Roman numerals, that's 6 already. That'll be 8. Put that down, that's 2. Then we've got 5, which is 7, and then 8. Flow is even and stable, so we can progress on. There's no cogs up here, I believe. I think they're next place down. So as you can see, we've got one here. We just
14th of July, 1839. I've read every book I can find on the subject. While rich in legend and hearsay, my knowledge is lack for the insight I crave. I've sent letters to many in Herbert's address book and received answers of varying importance. Today, I got one which differed greatly from the others. From a baron in Prussia. He said nothing about the quaint stories of priests in underground temples. He didn't even mention them. He simply wrote, "I know. I can protect you. Come to Brennenburg Castle. Signed, Alexander." What am I to make of this? Protect me from what? Is someone after me? I looked up Brennenburg and traced it to the Prussian woods near the Baltic Sea. While being the least informative letter I've received, it causes me greatest distress and interest. As I write, my thoughts are drawn to my nightmares in which a most disturbing sound calls to me. A sound defying description. A voice from the void. The last few weeks have been awful, with so many sleepless nights dreading a repeat of those horrid dreams. Tomorrow, I shall visit my physician, Dr. Tate, in hope that he can provide me with sedatives to help me sleep.
Relatively simple. We've got a circle, a triangle, and a square. So, 4-phase amplitude rod will go in the four sides of a square. We've got Trinity as in the Holy Trinity. And then we've got the flow cycle. Relatively easy to figure out. Whenever your screen flashes red like that, it means you need to start making progress. That's a warning from the shadow, sorry, from the game. Just basically telling you that you need to like crack on. I'm just gonna lie on this room actually. I think I can spare some tin boxes. I don't even know how many I want right now.
July 1839. How has this escaped me? They're all dead. Limbs scattered, heads split down the middle, their skin flayed as if boiled. I feel like I'm falling into myself. What's happening? Sir William Smith, Professor Taylor, now Dr. Tate. Is it following me? How can it not be? It's the damn thing I brought from Africa. Something is after me. I have no choice but to trust the Baron. He better know what he claims. If he is wrong, I suspect he'll regret it as well.
Right, so that's the last thing for this entire area. What else we need to do? We need to get some coal. One or two pieces. You'll tell us where it is. One more piece. I'm actually going to end this part here. So, if you've liked the video, please leave a like or dislike, depending on what you like or dislike about it. And leave a comment as well. And I hope you all have a good day. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know if you want more. Take it easy.